Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Wednesday, August 29th, 2012. I want to thank you all for tuning in this morning. Let's get right into the charts here. We'll start off with the usual S&P 500 E-mini futures. You'll see that futures are trading higher now by about a half a point to around the 1408 level. Decent little pop over the last 30 minutes. Again, when the futures go higher, that tells you one thing. Probably the U.S. dollar index is going lower, and sure enough, the dollar is starting to dip here. As soon as the dollar declines, futures will catch a bid, and that is what you're looking at this morning. So futures were negative earlier by about a point. Now they're trading into positive territory by about a half a point. And again, continue to watch the dollar. It may not have that big of an effect this week due to the light volume nature before the Labor Day holiday. But nonetheless, it is still probably the most important chart out there that any trader can follow. All right, a couple of things to go over this morning. One, we're going to have some economic news out a little bit later. I believe 10 o'clock you're going to have pending home sales for July. Also, I believe there's going to be some GDP reports out. So we'll see how that comes out. That's at 8:30 this morning, which is only about 7 or 8 minutes away from this time at the moment. So we'll see how the market reacts to that. I don't think either report is going to be that big a deal. I think that the overall market is going to still continue to be a light volume trading session ahead of the holiday in the United States. All right, let's take a look at oil and gold this morning. You do have the dollar positive by just a little bit, so gold is down about $4 to $16.65 an ounce. Take a look at the GLD this morning. You'll see the GLD has just caught a bid as the dollar started to drop. So if the dollar declines further, you can expect gold to catch a little bit of a bid. If the dollar starts to move higher, then you could expect gold to start to decline and deflate. Okay, so right now the GLD is trading right around 161.50. It closed yesterday at 161.64 and still down a touch, but well off the lows of the morning, simply as the dollar starts to pull back. Let's take a look at oil. Light sweet crude is down today. Lower by 67 cents to $95.66 a barrel. That's a decent little decline for oil, which has been moving up steadily on the back of a weaker dollar. Also on the back of the hurricane that's in the Gulf. That looks like it has hit New Orleans. We'll see how much damage it really does there. But nonetheless, if you take a look at the USO, which is a good proxy for oil, you'll see that it is trading lower today. Trading down to $35.61 a share. It closed at $35.79 yesterday, so down a little bit. But again, if that dollar moves lower, remember, if dollar moves down, you're going to get a pop in oil. And right now, the dollar is starting to fade already. So you want to keep an eye on that U.S. dollar index chart. The more it fades, the more gold will get a pop, the more oil will get a pop, and gasoline as well. So you're going to look at the dollar very, very closely today. Just when it comes to oil and gold, it's very, very important. But the dollar dictates a lot of price movement in the stock market as well, even when we have these light volume weeks like we are getting this week so far. All right, let's take a look at a few stocks in the news. I'm going to start off with Joy Global today. Looks like they reported earnings. You'll see the stock is down a little bit. Closed yesterday at 53.07. It's trading at 51.85. They also, I guess, are talking about the China slowdown. So nonetheless, Joy G trading lower. Traders got to watch a few levels here. $49 is one level you should watch for. Also, 48.35 will be some support. But again, if that breaks, this thing can go all the way back down to $40 and possibly as low as 36.62. Now, I don't see that happening this morning. It looks like it's holding up. Tested $50 even number. It's getting a little bit of a bid there, but you got to watch $49, $48.35, and then it's really $40 and $36.62. So those are the levels you want to watch for Joy Global. This one could be tricky today, so be a little bit on the cautious side with it. Make sure you look at the chart pattern when trying to pick that off for a bounce. In sympathy to Joy Global today, you may get a downslide in Caterpillar. You can see Caterpillar is trading lower. Deere is trading a little bit lower, and also you may see Tractor Supply Company, TSCO, also trade a little bit lower, and that is starting to pull back now. So all of these could be in sympathy, but most likely the biggest one to be in sympathy with Joy Global is going to be Caterpillar, which is definitely falling a little bit today. This thing looks like it wants to go to 82 bucks, to be honest. So keep an eye on Caterpillar. It has support at around $82. All right, let's take a look at Heinz, ketchup maker. Stock has had a pretty good pop this morning. When I looked at it, I'm surprised now it's trading lower, down to around the 56.20 level. There's still some fair amount of support in the 55.50 area. The big support for this is down at 54.50. So keep that on your radar, 54.50, and then it's going to be 53.50. Okay, so those are your big support levels for Heinz, 54.50 and 53.50. Those are your two big support levels. Could watch for bounces at both spots. Let's take a look at the fresh market. TFM is the ticker symbol. Again, this is a real light volume stock, catching a decent little bid. Right now it's trading up around $64.35. Traded as high as 65. I would watch for pretty good resistance around the 66 to 66.50 area. Although there's nothing wrong with the stock. It's in a good uptrend. It's a light volume name, which means it can overshoot and trade higher. There's really no real reason to sell it. But you're going to watch for resistance around the 66, 66.50 area. If it does get up there, traders could maybe see a small pullback. But it's a light volume name. It's a tough short. There really isn't even any real reason to short the stock. It's a good uptrend on all time frames. It still looks pretty solid. It's just going to be a little bit overbought and extended when it gets to around 66.50. All right, so we'll leave it there. Let's take a look at Joseph Banks, the clother. Let's take a look at JOSB is the ticker symbol. The stock's catching a pretty decent bid, trading at 46.51. It closed at 41.63. Very good move. I got some levels here, though, that I'm looking at. I think the 46.35 level is pretty good resistance, but we're above that. So if we open above there, traders should watch 48.45 and then $50.53. So 48.45 and $50.53 are your resistance levels. Traders can look for pullbacks there. One thing I must warn you is it's a light volume name. So these things have a tendency to overshoot. So we'll see how that plays out. But always be careful in those light volume stocks. Don't take as big a position as you normally would if you're looking to watch for the pullback sell or scalp short it. Okay, so you have to always take that into consideration. There were some market movers out there, some other ones, but again, the volume is just too light to really mention. I don't even really like mentioning any light volume stocks, to tell you the truth. And today I gave you a few out there, but we'll see how this market plays out a little bit later. Right now, you do have the futures trading up by about 3/4 of a point to 1408.50. You do have the GDP report coming out right now. It looks like that is being released. Let's see how the markets play out here. It's really not that big a deal. It looks like futures are inching up a little bit, but I don't think there's all that much. It looks like second quarter GDP revised 1.7%. Again, I don't know if you can make much out of that. That really should benefit the U.S. dollar index and probably take the market down. But nonetheless, GDP coming in at 1.7%, and that's second quarter revised. I don't know if we can make a lot out of this. Again, futures coming in a little bit. The dollar should catch a little bit of a bid off of this. Let's see what the dollar's doing. Yeah, it's starting to tick up. But generally, if you get a better GDP, the dollar should go higher. But we'll see how this market plays out. It is a light volume trading week. All the big boys that are in charge want a lot of spending to take place during the Labor Day holiday. So, again, we'll see how this all shakes out and plays out by the end of the day. With that said, everybody, I'd like to wish you all a great trading day. Remember, volume will get light as the day goes on. That's just a general nature and characteristic of the overall market ahead of a holiday. So be aware of that. Have a great trading day, everyone, and we'll see you on the charts tomorrow. Take care.